skills on the platform. What's up, YouTube? Back at you with another one. This one today is going to actually be about today's lesson. Is going to be about the effects of the silent treatment, which can be devastating to human minds. Okay? So let's begin. It's the favorite tactic of narcissistic people. They use the silent treatment, and it's their favorite tactic. Okay? So we're going to really slow cook this today because it's necessary. A lot of people need this information because there are a lot of men and women out here that are highly abusive and narcissistic. That means they don't have any empathy or concern for what others are going through. They have no concern about your feelings. They have no concern about you as a person. They may deal with you. They'll mess around with you. They'll do a lot of things with you. But when they don't get their way, they use this silent treatment against you. And it could be very detrimental to you mentally. So these are the signs to look out for when you're dealing with these type of people who use the silent treatment against you. A lot of men use it against women. Women use it against men. And parents use it against their children, which is the sickest thing a parent could do, is to use this kind of behavior towards your own children. You should be ashamed of yourselves to use such behavior against children who are defenseless to your manipulative ways. You should be burnt at the stake. I'm just going to say that off top. No respect, no remorse for these kind of people, especially when they use it towards innocent children. They don't deserve it because you can't deal with your emotions. It's selfishness, and you will be called out. That's why I'm bringing awareness to this topic right now, mainly for the children, because you can't really change adults who stuck in their ways, but the children, they need a chance, and we must give them a chance. And this information needs to get out to as many people as possible. What silent treatment is and the effects it has on people, why people use it, and how you can respond to silent treatment. Now, heal from narcissistic abusers in family, friends, and lovers. The silent treatment is a passive, aggressive, emotionally abusive tactic that inflicts pain and trauma without leaving visible bruises. It's a form of ostracism and invalidation where conversations is withheld or limited. Okay? So these are the tactics that narcissists use. Narcissism, narcissistic people, psychopaths, and sociopaths. They use these tactics to try to get their way, to get other people to bend to their will and do their bidding. I'm going to say this again. Heal from narcissistic abusers in family, and friends, and lovers. Silent treatment is a passive, aggressive, emotional, abusive tactic that inflicts pain and trauma without leaving visible bruises. It is a form of ostracism and invalidation where conversations is withheld or limited. Has this happened to you? Has family members, friends, lovers withheld conversation from you to get you to do something that they wanted you to do? Has this happened? If it has, then they're using the silent treatment against you. And you got to be careful. You got to be very vigilant of these type of tactics being used against you. Typically, when people use these kind of tactics, they have low self-esteem. They try to make it seem like you have low self-esteem when in actuality they have the low self-esteem. That's the reason why they can't sit in one place to get anything done typically. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of different types of narcissism, and that's in one of my previous videos. So take a look into those previous videos, and it actually has I have a video out on the different types of narcissists. Okay? So that way you can identify each and every one. Some of them are very charismatic. Therefore, to communicate can last, their refusal, that thing's not even spelled right. Okay. All right. To communicate can last for days, weeks, months, even years. So this is deep. This is deep, people. Someone could refuse to communicate with you for the simple fact of trying to gain control over you. Has someone ever done that to you? Have they held their conversation from you? You're trying to speak with them and you're trying to speak logic, but they continuously not trying to hear what you're saying, or they completely blatantly ignore you. They're giving you the silent treatment. We learned that from even as children, the silent treatment, right? But over the years, it's been manipulated. People are using it to manipulate. Their refusal to communicate can last for days, weeks, months, even years, and only ends when the perpetrator decides to end it. So they decide to end it when they feel like you're going to do their will. So this silent treatment that narcissists use against you, it's their refusal to communicate. So simply them holding back their communication from you, right? It causes some type of, now you start to look within yourself to think that maybe something's wrong with me. What's going on? Did I do something wrong? You start to question yourself. So if you're confident and you've naturally always been a confident type of person, and someone uses this tactic against you, in a sense, they're trying to strip you of your confidence. If they can strip you of your confidence, that means they can go ahead and get into your mind to get you to do what they want you to do. This is something that even pimps use against their prostitutes and their whores. But it's even bigger than that, because where did pimps learn this tactic from? This is something that so-called governments use against people, the people, in a sense. You just got to be careful and be very watchful of people using these type of manipulation tactics on us, the silent treatment. It's a form of control where communication is only restored if the perpetrator gets in their way. Truth, logic, fairness, empath, empathy, and rationality are replaced by childish entitlement and selfishness. It's a form of control where communication is only restored if the perpetrator gets their way. So they'll talk to you once you give them their way. Once you yield to what they want you to do, that's when they'll go ahead and start talking back to you again. Right? Oh, stay away from these kind of people. You can, wean yourself off of them, but it's recommended if you can just go cold turkey, stay away from them. Because they have no good intentions for you. They only do this to people to seek what they can get. And they usually typically look for naive, weak-minded people they know they can do this to. Until they decide to restore the conversation. It's a form of control where communication is only restored if the perpetrator gets their way. Truth, logic, fairness, empathy, and rationality are replaced by childish, entitlement and selfishness. It's a childish entitlement and selfishness. We know a lot of men and women use this. They use this on their victims to get their way. But once you are aware and you know these tactics, you're able to point them out and spot them out and say, hey, I see what you're doing. And get away from them. It's probably best if you just completely just remove yourself away from them at all costs. Stay away. Because they will take you down. They have no sense of care for others but themselves. We find this kind of trait in a lot of so-called people in government. So-called judges, lawyers, okay, politicians. It's even been said that there are no presidents in history that are not narcissists. They say all of them are narcissists. Something to think about. Food for thought. They never want to talk about the issues at hand. Never just simply sweeping things under the rug. They don't ever want to talk about the issues at hand. If you have an issue or concern with these people, they don't ever want to talk about it. Why is that? Because they want to manipulate you. Try to sweep things under the rug. I know a few people who, some narcissists, some deranged type of individuals. But that's how they was bred up by their parents. Their parents taught them how to be like that, and probably their parents passed it on to them. Friends, so-called friends of the family, it's a learned type of behavior. Typically, people who use these tactics, they're charismatic, but they something that they lack mentally. There's a disconnect somewhere in the mind as to why they can behave this way towards other people. Something traumatic may have happened in childhood or in a past relationship that they never got over. And it's like someone did it to them, so they feel like they should do it to others to get back and try to make themselves feel better from harming other people. And it's not a physical harm, it's a mental, emotional type of harm. The silent treatment is abusive when a person does the following. They intend to hurt you or put you in your place with their silence, often when they do not get their way. Remind you of a child, right? A child asks for something and you tell them no, they go cry and they throw a temper tantrum. Unless you regulate that early, that child will grow up with that kind of complex that they can just cry and get their way. The world doesn't work like that. You have to work to be able to get things to work out for you. You have to put in some kind of effort to be able to get things to work out for you the way you want them to work out. With their silence, often when they do not get their way, you try to be held. You try to hold them accountable for their actions. So when you're trying to hold them accountable for their actions, they go silent on you. If someone's not holding themselves accountable for their actions, that is an outright narcissist, and they love to use the silent treatment against you. They like to deflect. They like to gaslight you. Right? They try to make it seem like the issues that you're bringing up, that projection, and make it seem like you're doing it. And to the point where sometimes you might think, oh wow, am I doing this? They try to get you to, they make you question yourself in a lot of cases. When you notice, when you have an issue and you know deep down inside yourself, you know it's an issue, and you try to bring it up to them and they don't acknowledge you, stay away from them. Stay away from them. It's the best bet. Because they're trying to get you to go somewhere and do something that you don't need to do. I won't even give them the satisfaction. I think a lot of, to be honest, based on my personal experience, these people have a death wish. I think they've done so much in their life and to others, they have a death wish. They want you to take them out, but then what's end up happening if you take one of them out, you take somebody out, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to find yourself on the wrong end of the law. Even though they were doing what they were doing to you, it doesn't justify you doing that and trying to take someone out because of it. There's justification for that. So your best bet is to stay away from them, because they'll try to push you there. They intend to hurt you or put you in your place with their silence, often when they do not get their way, or you try to hold them accountable for their actions. The silence lasts extended periods and only ends when they decide it does, no matter what you do. So there's nothing you can do when they use attack against you. So go find other people to associate with. Make new friends. Get new associates. You really can't find new family members, but sometimes you need to cut your family off, because they don't mean you any well. They don't mean you any good. They don't want anything good for you. A true friend and family wants something good for you. They want you to have a better life. They want your life. They want you to be happy. So, but typically when someone is not happy within themselves, they want to put that on other people. They want you to be unhappy as well. They say, what's that saying everybody says? Misery loves company. So if someone's miserable in their life, they try to project that misery onto you. They try to shake it off of themselves and put it on the others, because they don't know how to, or should I say, they don't want to address the issues. They don't want to address the past traumas, right? So they project onto others. So no matter what you do, they will continue to use that silent treatment to try until they get what they want. Or you just completely just move on, which is your best bet. Just move on. There are plenty of other people that would enjoy your company. There were plenty of people out here who would respect you and honor you as being a real person. So don't let them do it to you. They refuse to talk to you, make eye contact, answer your calls, or respond to texts while being nice to others. That's a big one right there. They're nice to other people, but then they won't respond to you. They won't respond to your calls, your texts, nothing. But they put on they put that mask on when they're around other people though. It's like this. That's what they do. They put that mask on, they put a smile on their face, and they go around other people acting like cheerful and joyful. And then a lot of people would say to you like, you know, if let's say you were to confront their friends and family members about them. Typically, their friends and family members already kind of know who they really are. Their friends and family members cover their real personality, especially when new people come around. They all act very well. They are usually on their best behavior. Right? So you can go to the friends and family members and they'll be like, oh, nah, that's not true. Or even new people that they encounter. You know this person from the past. You know who they really are. But around new people, they don't act like that. So if a new person was to ask you, hey, tell me about such and such, and you were to tell them that, they probably wouldn't believe you. They'd be like, nah, they're not like, that's not true. Well, I know her or him for a few months, and they've never acted like that. Give it some time. You haven't seen it yet. Give it some time. It'll come out eventually. Everything, the truth always comes out. Period. You can't hide that. Their true nature will come out. They can't cover it forever. It will come out. Believe that. They seek alliances from others to also give you the silent treatment. So they seek out others, right? To communicate with, just to give you the silent treatment. Beware of these kind of people. They use silence to manipulate you into doing things they want or to change your behavior and personality. A lot of people turn out to become wicked people just being exposed to these kind of individuals. People change after they encounter these kind of people. If you don't have a strong sense of who you are, you can easily fall into this manipulation and become a different person than who you originally was. Especially after you encounter a certain person or a certain group of people. You become different. You can recover from it, but it takes a lot. But you can recover. I'm going to say that again. They seek alliances from others to also give you the silent treatment. They use silence to manipulate you into doing things they want or to change your behavior and personality. They refuse to compromise, see your point of view, or listen to facts. That's one of the big ones. You can present facts to these individuals left and right all day. They would refuse to listen to your side of it. It's what they say and that's it. There are a lot of deceptive so-called judges that do this. You could be bringing facts to them. They won't listen because they feel like they're sitting up on that bench on high, that they can use this to you. They can do this to you. Those are one of the main individuals who use this tactic, narcissism, and they would refuse to hear what you have to say. Sick-minded individuals. They refuse to acknowledge you until you apologize. For what? When they were wrong. Till you apologize, grovel, plead, and give in to demands. They want you to grovel, plead, and give in to demands. Think about it. When you go to court, what they want you to do, what do you plead? Big narcissists in that courtroom. Big ones. Those are one of the biggest ones in the country. They refuse to acknowledge you until you apologize, grovel, plead, or give in to demands. Just so they will talk to you. When you do their, and you give in to their demands, then they'll talk to you. I don't need your conversations personally. I don't care for it. They resort to anger, hostility, showing disdain or contempt to shut you up. They use silent treatment as their primary means of dealing with conflict. Let's go on. Effects of silent treatment. The nature of your relationships, and if you are male or female, influences the effects silent treatment has on you. Research shows that women often try hard to win back attention. Men try at first, then don't show any reactions after a certain period. I'm going to go out here and say this because it needs to be said. Women are considered the weaker vessel. And a lot of these men out here use these tactics against these women. Not saying they're innocent, but they use these tactics against women knowing that women are the weaker vessel. And knowing that they'll try harder to get that attention back. Whereas men will try at first, but then it's like after a while, we'll just completely forget about it. Like we won't care anymore. For women, it takes longer for them to get over something or someone. So a lot of women are being manipulated to do things and behave in a way that are out of order. And manipulate other people on behalf of others. Y'all need to stop this foolishness because you're going to get called out. I'm calling out men and women. No one is excused. You're going to get hit with the sword, whether you like it or not. The nature of your relationships, if you are male or female, influences the effects silent treatment has on you. Research shows that women often try hard to win back attention. Men try at first, then don't show reactions after a certain period of time. So it's used more on women than men. But don't get me wrong, a lot of women are using it against men too. They use it against weaker men, or excuse me, men that have weaker thought processes or have been manipulated. Because we know that women over the past 50 some odd years typically raise these men. So the fathers haven't been in the homes. So being that the fathers haven't been in the homes, it's a lot of women that's raising these boys to become so-called men. And that's where they're learning this, from the lack of fathers in the home. Now, it goes bigger than just women doing this to their children and doing it to their families. We know that for a fact that society has done this to the people. There's something bigger in at work here than just men and women. Experiencing physical pain and discomfort. The pain and discomfort are often felt in your stomach, back, shoulders, and head. So this is where you'll feel this discomfort. Dealing with narcissists. Over time, it can lead to muscle stiffness, consistent headaches, diarrhea, constipation, fatigue, insomnia, and mental fog. So these are all the symptoms that people who are dealing with these kind of individuals suffer from. So if you ever suffer from any of these symptoms, then you might want to check your relationships with your parents, friends, and lovers, because they could be using these tactics against you. Some may be doing it unconsciously, and some are doing it consciously. But I don't pass anything by anyone. People do things and they know what they're doing. They know. They may play stupid, but they know what it is. Don't let them trick you. Long-term emotional stress can lead to eating disorder, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, blood clots, urinary and bowel problems, erectile dysfunction, and cancer. Godly. Look at the long list of issues someone would go through dealing with these kind of people. I gotta go over it again. I might sound like a broken record, but it's necessary in this case. This is information people need to grab a pen and paper and write down. Take notes. Let it soak in and absorb it. So that way when you encounter this kind of treatment, you know to get away from them. Typically they won't do it at first, but the mask will start to slip within 30 days of meeting these kind of people, because they can't keep up being nice for long. Them being kind and nice to people, it's not in them. They weren't brought up that way. They were raised in dysfunction, so they behave dysfunctionally. They're dysfunctional. They don't function correctly with using their mind like so-called normal people would. Long-term emotional stress can lead to eating disorder, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, blood clots, urinary and bowel problems, erectile dysfunction, and cancer. This is not a joke, people. This is not a game. You got to take this seriously, because your life depends on it. If you don't take control of your life, somebody else will. Increased health risks. Loneliness is just as lethal as smoking. 15 cigarettes. Wow. Find new friends. It's not hard. It's not hard. It says loneliness is just as lethal as smoking 15 cigarettes per day or being an alcoholic, making it even more dangerous than obesity. That's serious. More dangerous than obesity? My. Lonely people are around 28% more likely to die prematurely. Loneliness also increases inflammation in the body, which can contribute to heart disease, stroke, immune system problems, and other chronic and health conditions. Wow. I'm just baffled by all of this. And this forms negative beliefs in your mindset. It'll turn you negative. It'll make you bitter. No one wants to deal with a negative and bitter person. I don't know about you, but I don't want to deal with the negative and bitter person. Stay away from me. I need to probably go get some garlic like you a vampire or something and go get a cross. Because I do not want to deal with those kind of people. And you shouldn't want to either. Silent treatment can cause permanent damage to your psychological condition and how you view yourself. Silent treatment can cause permanent damage to your psychological conditions and how you view yourself. Thus, why these people behave the way they behave is because they have low self-esteem. They view themselves in a negative light. They know they're not good people because they don't treat others with respect. They probably go home and cry themselves to sleep every night. This can cause you to subconsciously believe you are not good enough. Listen, you are good enough. Don't let no one tell you that you're not good enough. If they tell you that you're not good enough, or even act in such a way, stay away from them. You may then form self-sabotaging actions to subconsciously prove to yourself you do not deserve to be happy, especially in children. Now, you sick people, you doing this to children, you're going to pay. You're going to pay the ultimate price, and you're probably going to pay with your life. But you know what? You don't deserve to die. You deserve to suffer for what you do to children. If you're causing this kind of treatment and you're doing this to your children or to other people's children, you deserve to suffer miserably. And you will suffer miserably. It's unacceptable behavior towards children. They have a chance to grow. Give them a chance. Just because you can deal with your issues doesn't mean that these young babies don't deserve a chance to grow up and be good people of society. You sick and twisted individuals should be ashamed of yourselves. You get no sympathy or remorse, especially when you get called out and you get found out. And you will get called out. That's why this information has to come to light, for the sake of the youth. Because these are the people, these generation that's coming up. They're supposed to run this world and country. If we're running around a whole bunch of narcissists running around thinking about themselves, we're doomed. If these children grow up in this kind of environment and not aware of what these people are doing, we are doomed as people, as humankind. We might as well throw the towel in. But that's not going to happen. Because these people will be exposed for who they are. We're calling out the BS. We will shut you down wherever you are. You may then form self-sabotaging actions and to subconsciously prove to yourself you do not deserve to be happy, especially in children. Just pausing for a moment here. Just the thought that someone would do this to an innocent child. You deserve to be put in front of a firing squad. And your lights get put out. Or sit and rot in a jail cell for your entire life. To think about the way you've been behaving is inappropriate towards children. It's not appropriate towards adults, but it's definitely not appropriate towards children. I feel some kind of way about that because I have children. And to think that someone would do this to my children, I'd raise hell. Lose of trust. Lose of trust in your memory and decision making. You start to lose trust in your own memory and decision making. So if this is happening to you, you know what's going on. You may think that they may be you. You think it may be you. Did something wrong to deserve them to talk to you that way or do this to you. You start to question yourself. Don't question yourself. You're not insane. You're not crazy. You're valid in the way you're feeling if someone is doing these and using these tactics against you. You're valid. It will affect... No, excuse me. Let me go back here. Moving ahead too fast. Silent treatment has the same effect as gaslighting. They gaslight you. They try to flip it and turn it onto you. They make it seem like you're the problem when they're the problem all along. It will affect your decision-making ability and confidence in yourself. They try to affect your confidence in yourself. If you were a confident person in the past, and then all of a sudden you find yourself having lack of confidence, you need to get away from these people at all costs. You need to find yourself a new group of people to hang around with. Because if someone is causing you to lose confidence, you don't need to be around them. They're poison. Devilish. They have bad spirits. Their mind is unbalanced. It's mind-boggling to me that people actually thought like this. For a long time, in my mind, I've always believed that everyone wants something good for themselves, but it's not true. It's not true. Not everyone does not want good for themselves, and if they don't want good for themselves, you know they don't want good for you. I always thought people wanted good for themselves. Till up into the past, I'd say 7, 8 years. I always had in my mind that people want good for themselves. It's not true. I've encountered some vicious people. They tried to take me out. They tried to take me out. But the Most High, my ancestors said, nope, not this one. Please believe you will suffer. playing with the wrong people, you're going to suffer. You probably got away with it in the past. Messing around with the wrong one, it's over. You may think that maybe you did something wrong or deserve them not talking to you. Personally, I don't care. You don't talk to me, I'll find other people to talk to. There's 7 billion people on this planet. You can always find somebody else to talk to if they don't want to talk to you. Silent treatment has the same effect as gaslighting. It will affect your decision-making ability and confidence in yourself. Don't let them ruin your confidence. Feeling powerless and loss, a sense of self and confidence. Silent treatment makes you feel powerless. The perpetrator has control over you and conversations. Silent treatment crushes your sense of self when you place value on what you bring to the world. Value on the things you have and accomplishments. Let's move on. I'm trying to get through this as quick as possible. They use guilt against you. These narcissists, they use guilt, psychopaths, and sociopaths. They use guilt against you, shame, dehumanization, and cause you to even have suicidal thoughts. If you're thinking about suicide, you know you need to get away from these people. There should be no reason why anyone is thinking about suicide. It's time for you to go and get away. Save yourself. There's healthy selfishness now. If it comes down to life and death and your mental peace, your peace of mind, then it's time for you to be selfish and consider yourself and forget everybody else. That means friends, family, lovers, sometimes your own children. That's if they're adults. We can't really forget about your children that are underage. It's our responsibility to make sure that they're okay. But they make you feel guilt, shame, and they dehumanize you, which cause suicidal thoughts. If you got to that point, you know you're being manipulated. You know you're amongst the narcissist. The silent treatment crushes your sense of self and confidence. That makes you feel rejected, unworthy, lonely, and reduced. You may start to experience guilt, shame, that can overwhelm you. It can be very overwhelming. It makes you feel as if you are not worthy of being a human. Now that's some sick, twisted behavior. To make someone feel that they're not human. You should be ashamed of yourself. Who raised you, people? Of course, narcissists and sick, twisted people too raised you to think this way and behave this way. They say society has probably about 10%, or actually, I heard a study show that, I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, but do your own research, that about 3-4% of people in society are narcissists. I don't think it's 3-4%, but I could be wrong. I'm thinking at least about a good 20% of people out here are narcissists. There's a lot of them out here. Because this topic has come about over the past maybe 5-10 years. I'm sure it's probably been out before, but it's coming to the light. It's more relevant now in these times that we're in, especially during the corona lockdown and all of that. We starting to see more of it because people starting to having to look within, and they can't even deal with themselves. These narcissists, let me tell you something. These narcissists can't even deal with themselves. They have to be around people to manipulate. They can't even deal with themselves. If they're alone with themselves too long, they start to lose it, and they have to go find other people to try to manipulate. That's why they're big on being around out in club scenes and things of that nature, bars, different events. They're big on that. Like, if you can't validate yourself and you're always seeking validation outside yourself, you need therapy. Like I said, we're social creatures. We need to be around people, but you should be able to deal with yourself and be able to be in a quiet spot with yourself for a day or two without having to have company or someone in your face. If you always need exterior validation, you need to really, really check yourself and look at your thought processes and maybe get some therapy. Because something's not right. Something's not connected mentally. Silent treatment crushes your sense of self-confidence and makes you feel rejected, unworthy, lonely, and reduced. You may start to experience guilt, shame that can overwhelm you. It makes you feel as if you are not worthy of being a human. You may also experience a sense of grief, loss, misplacement, and abandonment. That can lead to suicidal thoughts and even suicide. There's a lot of people who've committed suicide because of these individuals. I'm sure if I was to do some research, I could probably do a whole another video on that. On people who committed suicide because they were dealing with some type of narcissist in their life. Feeling angry, frustrated, and hatred towards the person. You may foster resentment, hatred for that person, giving you the silent treatment. So you start to hate the person. The narcissist that I dealt with, when I was around them and I realized what they were doing, I did start to resent them to the point where I did almost hate them. But then I started to realize what they were doing, and I'm like, wait a minute. This is not me. This feeling, the way I'm thinking right now, it's not coming from me. It's from the effect of what this person is doing. It's the emotional manipulation that they're doing. Then I start to die down like, I see you. I see what you're doing. I didn't have to speak it out loud, but I knew. So I started to calm myself down and realize that this person has some issues and I got to get away from them. I had to get away from her. She was trying to drive me crazy. Now I don't know what she went through in her childhood. She was very secretive. I'm the type of person, I'll fall back. I'm not trying to press you or anything like that. I'll let you come to me in your own time. Tell me when you're ready. Open up when you're ready. That's just my personality, because I don't like to be held back and hampered down. I don't like nobody to try to control me, so I'm not going to project that onto you. When I started to realize, wait, this is not my thought processes. This is not the way I'm thinking. And me being an empath, right? Me being highly intuitive. I started to realize it's not me. I'm actually picking up on her emotions and her feelings, which in a sense caused me to react in a certain way and start to feel this anger and this hatred towards her. But it was her projecting those feelings onto me, which kind of made me feel like it was coming from myself, but it wasn't. I dealt with her too long. And I knew early on that I needed to get away from her, but I stuck around for other reasons. But it's not worth sticking around. You got to get away from them. And her family were just as bad as she was. Her friends were just as bad as she was. They would cover for her. They would cover for her foolishness. Because they were narcissists too. And they were what people would call flying monkeys. She was surrounded by a bunch of flying monkeys, her family and friends. They actually condoned her behavior. They backed it up. They covered it up. Let me move on. I'll probably tell my story one day, but this is not the video for that. You feel angry, frustrated, and hatred towards the person. Those feelings are not you. Because if you never were a person that had hate in your heart, then you start to wonder, where is it coming from? It's obviously being projected onto you. You're picking up on someone else's emotions and their feelings that are not yours. I've never been a hater because I know how to get it. I show people how to get it. I teach people how to get it. I've always been the top producer. What I gotta hate for? I typically beat out the whole room. I'm always in the top 5 at least, because there's always somebody that's gonna have some a better skill than you or be able to do something better than you. But I'm always in the top 5%, baby. No questions. You may foster resentment and hatred for that person, giving you the silent treatment. It will also destroy the relationship you have with that person. You may try to do anything to make the other person speak up and communicate with you. That's why a lot of men use this against weak women. And then, once they've been damaged or scarred by a man, they turn around and go do it to other men who don't have any awareness or knowledge of this. Out of my 40 years of living, I've only encountered one person that I was in a relationship with who had this trait. A covert narcissist. An undercover narcissist. Children may cause trouble or become violent to get a reaction out of you. You may try to do anything to make the other person speak up and communicate with you. Right? So even children will become violent and cause trouble just to get a reaction out of their parents. The children will become violent. Let's move on. Silent treatment is a low energy. I'm going to say that again. Silent treatment is a low energy, but extremely effective manipulation tactic. Its sole purpose is to cause extreme levels of emotional distress in the victim until they give in to the demands placed on them. It is a toddler temper tantrum in silence for not getting their way. Poor communication skills. These people typically have poor communication skills. They typically can't hold a solid conversation, a dialogue between one another. Excuse me. They're usually shallow people. Really don't have any substance. They're really not about anything. Another way now, this is a way you can identify a narcissist, but then again, there are successful narcissists out there. There are people who are narcissists, they are highly successful. Just like a functioning junkie. They can still go to work, get money, earn, pay bills, but they still support their habits. But then again, you have on the other side of the scale, on the flip side of the coin, a lot of them have poor communication skills. Typically what they do is they'll get around charismatic people and learn that type of behavior. So that way they can know how to manipulate their next victim. They typically will mirror someone that's intelligent and try to speak in an intelligent tone. They're typically going off of memory. They don't really have substance in themselves. They're going off of memory and being around people who are charismatic, and they learn that trait. So that way they can manipulate victim after victim after victim. The person's experience a shift in a relationship or how they view you. Your name may have been smeared. They saw something you did, said, or commented online that they don't agree with. So if they don't agree with something that you commented on, they'll try to slander your name. They'll make up all kind of lies against you. If people are slandering your name, making up lies against you, and you know it's a lie, stay away from them. You know they're narcissists. And I look at it like this. If you try to slander my name with other people, and those people believe you, forget them too. I don't even care about them either. Because for them to just automatically believe what someone's saying without even doing any kind of research, they weren't even worthy of being my friend anyway. I wouldn't be concerned about what they feel or think. As far as I'm concerned, they're narcissists too. Two narcissists will come together against someone that's a not narcissist and try to take them down. Because they know you're that powerful. They'll click up maybe 5, 10 of them even. And they still couldn't get the job done because they're too weak. And that bloodline, baby. That bloodline. Yeah. That bloodline will haunt you in your sleep. Play with it. I know my bloodline ain't no joke. They say something, I'm perking up quick. Yes, sir. I'm obedient to the spirit. Poor skills dealing with their emotions. They suffered an emotional injury and not knowing how to deal with their emotions. So these people don't know how to deal with their own emotions. So they project these feelings of emotions onto others. They project these feelings and emotions onto others. They may not even know what they're feeling and why, as they don't know how to deal with what they're feeling, nor how to communicate their feelings to you. They decide to shut you out. People do this a lot. They'll shut you out because they feel like they can't control you. Me, personally, I don't care. But this is used against women a lot. Then these women become soiled, or should I say, they become very vindictive from this treatment that they received in the past, so they project it on the others. Men are supposed to be the leaders in society. Act like it. Somebody did you the wrong way? Okay. Chalk it off. Move on. But you're prepared so if someone tries to do it again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Let's move on. Wrap this up. To punish you, they are experiencing pain and turmoil. They don't know how to deal with or even what they're feeling. They may blame you for making them feel this way, or you are just a convenient target. Wow. You're making it convenient for them. By you sticking around and accepting this behavior and treatment, you're making it convenient for them. You might as well just stab the knife in your own heart. Make it easier for them. Put the knife in your own heart. Stick the knife in your own back. You make it easier for them because that's all they're going to do. They're going to keep doing it. As long as you're allowing them to do it. You make it convenient for them. You sit there and be like an emotional punching bag for these people. For stuff that they went through when they were a child. Or even with a bad relationship. Or from a bad relationship, should I say. Thus, they punish you to make themselves feel better. And make the emotions they feel go away without needing to deal with them. So they put the emotions on you so that way they don't have to feel like they don't have to deal with them. But somewhere down the road, they're going to have to deal with them. Because once you start, if you continue this behavior for long, you're not going to have any friends. Nobody's going to want to be around you. Then you're going to have to deal with it on your own. Establish control and avoid responsibility by overreacting and totally denying your existence. They hope to shock you so much that you give control back to them. They just want to shock you so you can give them back the control. Don't let them do it to you. It triggers your fear and abandonment without them needing to leave you or threaten you of doing so. For their pleasures, they may torture you with their silence for their pleasure. It's like they get pleasure in seeing you and seeing the way you react towards their silent treatment. It's like they enjoy it. Especially if they see it gets to you and beg and plead with them to talk to you. This is deranged behavior. It's deranged. And if they've taken you to that point, run. To chase you or drive you crazy, silent treatment is often used to manipulate you into changing your behaviors with how the narcissist wants you to behave. Anything they are not happy with will be changed through silent treatment. Slowly, they can make you believe you are crazy. They try to slowly make you believe you're crazy when they're the crazy ones. Slowly, they can make you believe you are crazy. To feel powerful. To make them feel godlike. So these people got a God complex. A lot of these people don't even believe in God. They don't think that there's a creator, a most high. They think they're God. In a sense, they are. We are all our gods and goddesses on this planet. And I say that in some of my previous videos. We are. But you're not better than anyone else. Your life is not worth more than someone else's life. But they have this godlike complex when they can make you fear them by you not knowing when they will decide not to talk to you again. It also makes them feel important that you will beg and plead and give in to any demand they make just to get you to talk to them or get them to talk to you. You will be an empty shell of yourself. You're going to find yourself to be empty. And what these people are, they're empty shells. They have no substance. That's why they can behave and project this kind of behavior unto others with no kind of empathy or remorse. How to deal with the silent treatment. So this is how you deal with this silent treatment. Don't blame yourself. Their silence is not your fault, no matter what they claim. They're choosing not to interact with you, change, or compromise. They don't want to change or compromise, so forget it. It's a waste of time. Trust me, I know firsthand. Do not beg or plead. Give an apology if you are innocent, or give in to their demands. Don't do it. Don't give in to their demands. Let them rot. They will just reinforce their behavior, and they will do it over and over till they get their way. They're not going to stop. They'll keep up that foolishness as long as you allow them to. You should just give them space. Give them all the space. Leave the city, the state, even the country. Get away from them. Give them a bit of space or a lot. Stay away. Even permanently. It could be that something tragic happened in their life and they are not able to talk about it to you. Sometimes these people going through certain things in their life, it's so traumatizing to them, they can't even tell you. They might have told others, but they just can't tell you. They probably been through some real, even at childhood. That's why I aim it at these parents. Because these adults today probably deal with these sick and twisted parents who cause them to become the way they are now. Make it about you. So you have to make it about yourself. There's healthy selfishness. There's a way of being when you're selfish in a healthy way. For example, if I know I only have $100 left and I know I gotta pay a bill for $50, I gotta do some other things, and and let's say I got $50 left after I finish pay that bill, right? And somebody comes to me and they ask me for $50. Do I give it to them just because I got $50? No. You need to think about yourself. You just finished paying the bill now. You might want to get something to eat later on, or an emergency might pop up. You want to go broke and not have anything just to please someone? I might tell them, say, hey, I only got 50, but you know, you're my homie, or you my homegirl, my homeboy, you know, I give you 25. I let you hold 25 of it, but I gotta hold this 25 a case. You know, and if they can't appreciate that, then, you know, they want it all. Screw them. Forget them. You get nothing now. These people show unappreciation, and you'll be able to spot it. Just don't look out for those red flags. If you see somebody's behaving a certain way towards you, and it got you, you know, got squinting your eyes and got you pausing for a minute and starting to think, it needs to be addressed. That needs to be questioned. If somebody got you squinting like, you know, that's that I gotta use the bathroom face, like, If you start making those faces, you need to start questioning what's going on around you and who you got around you. Because you may have a narcissist in close quarters. They make it about you. Healthy selfishness. Tell them how you feel. Try saying something like, I'm confused as to why you are not responding or ignoring me. Or I feel hurt and invalidated when you ignore me. If they deflect you on those statements, something similar, you can come up with something of your own. If they deflect on those statements when you're trying to address that the way you feel about how they're treating you, or accuse you only thinking of yourself, or they downplay your feelings, then they are admitting that they don't care about you and that they are trying to hurt you. They don't have to say they're trying to hurt you, but they're admitting by not admitting. They're admitting by not admitting based on their actions, because what they say, action speaks louder than words, right? Absolutely. So I'm going to read that again. If they deflect or accuse you of only thinking of yourself or downplay your feelings, then they are admitting that they don't care that they are hurting you. They simply don't care they're hurting you. Because they're empty. They have no substance. That's why they can do this and not care. Somewhere in their past, they lost themselves. That's why they can engage in this type of behavior and have no concern about how others feel. Act as if it does not affect you, though. Don't give them that satisfaction like it hurts, you know. Don't give it to them, because that's what they want. That's what they feed off of. They feed off of your anger. They feed off of your reactions. When you don't communicate with them and you ignore them, now use that same treatment back to them. You give them the silent treatment. They hate it. They hate when you give them the silent treatment. But you're not doing it to be manipulative. You're doing it to protect yourself from a manipulator and an abuser, a psychopath, a narcissist, a sociopath type of individual mindset, a shallow of a grave of individual. They have no substance. Sometimes you got to flip the trick on them. You got to use their own tactics against them. Don't use it against people that are being good to you now. You use it against people who's trying to manipulate you. You got to know when to do things. Scriptures teach that. There's a time for everything. Sometimes it's the time for you to flip the script on them. Don't act if it does not affect you. Act as if it doesn't affect you. Excuse me. If the person still refuses to talk to you, then let them be. Leave them alone. Go get new friends. Socialize with other people. Like I said, there's 7 billion people on this planet. There's always going to be someone to talk to. There's always going to be a better guy or better girl out there for you. Believe that. I know. There are better people out here. Not everyone is sick and twisted and deranged like some of these individuals. There are some good people out there. Don't ever believe that there aren't good people out there because of what one person did or what a couple people may have done to you in the past. Not everybody was raised that way. Not everybody was taught this kind of behavior. Some people actually have empathy. They have control and will decide when they start talking to you again. Personally, I don't even care for them to talk to them again. I don't care to be none of their friends. I don't care to be friends with people like that. Once you burnt that bridge, someone like me, I don't even care to deal with you. I don't want nothing to do with you. I'll be just fine without you. You got to have that type of confidence, people, to not even care if they ever talk to you again. Not even care if you don't ever hear from them. You're probably better off. Matter of fact, you are better off. Go on with your life as best as you can. Go do something you enjoy doing. Think about yourself. Like I said, that healthy selfishness. Go do something that you enjoy. Forget what they think. Leave them. If silent treatment lasts months or ends or is regularly used or part of other abuse tactics, then the best will be to limit your contact with the person as much as you can. Like I said, you can limit it, cut it short, spend a couple days, weeks, months away from them, even years. Me personally, I say forever. Stay away from them forever. You may need to leave the person if it is your partner. Leave him. Leave her. Leave him. If they don't mean you good, leave them. Leave them in the dust. There's always somebody better. Facts. Staying in a toxic relationship where the person will not even allow you to try to resolve problems is destructive for both of you. It's even destructive for them, but they continue to do it. But if they're shallow and they don't have any substance, they're going to continue to engage in this kind of behavior. So you need to be the bigger person and eliminate and dead it. Or they're going to take you down with them. Because they don't have something's not connecting in their brain. They're not using their mind to its full capacity. Because there's many people who went through type of traumas and when they're from their childhood, but they got over it. They're able to grow, move on, and still have healthy relationships with other people. And be successful. I'm going to say that again. Staying in a toxic relationship where the person will not even allow you to try to resolve problems is destructive for both of you. This person also has no desire to change or address the issues. They don't want to change. They don't want to address the issue. Leave there behind where they stand and never look back, or you're going to turn into a pillar of salt like the woman in the Bible. You're not going to turn into a pillar of salt, but that was just a little joke there. But think about it like that. If I look back, I'm going to turn into a pillar of salt. And I'm going to dissolve and be non-existent anymore. Be that extreme in your thought process sometime. Sometimes it's necessary. Especially when you're dealing with these kind of sick people. They're sick. They're not healthy in their mind. Some of them not healthy in their physical bodies either. They engage in unhealthy eating habits. You know, a lot of these people, they're just unhealthy all around. This person also has no desire to change or address any issues. Know that emotional abuse often escalates to physical abuse. And that's it. Listen, people, it escalates to physical abuse if you allow it to go there. And these people don't care. They'll take you there. Like I said, I think these people have a death wish. They want somebody to put them out of their misery. But no, don't do it. Let them suffer and wallow. Let them learn. They have to learn. If not, they can take themselves out. No, who cares? You're behaving like this towards children, you're going to pay. You're going to pay one day or another. Or you're going to pay your entire life. You're going to suffer for the infliction that you put on children, babies, the minds of children. Be ashamed of yourselves. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you can get future videos like this. Also, for people who are looking for direction in their life, who wants to know themselves, so that way you don't get caught up in dealing with people like this, narcissistic, psychopaths, and sociopath type of individuals. Know yourself. Get yourself a numerology report. It's going to help you identify what best suits you in this lifetime. Because we were all born coming to this earth with certain energies locked in to this vessel, this body. Excuse me. Right? We were locked in with certain energies in this body. So with those energies that are locked into ourselves, we have certain things that better suits us than others. Some people were made to be doctors. Some people were made to be healers. Some people were born to be engineers. Some people were born to be shamans, etc. Everyone has different functions. So find out what best suits you for your life experience, for your life path. So that way you can be a better person in this lifetime. Not the next, but this lifetime. And live your life to the fullest. Have healthy relationships with others, your friends and family members, and especially your children. Healthy relationships. That's what life is all about. We're not dead people. We are alive. Act accordingly. Act like you have life in you, not death. Anyways, my email is in the description. Send me a notification for a numerology report. Also offer astrology reports as well. So that way you can know where you're supposed to be in this lifetime. What's best for you. So that way you can help others. Because you can't help yourself, you can't help others. And that's a fact. You can't help yourself, you can't help others. So help yourself so that if you choose to want to help others, you have the ability to do so. Thank you, YouTube. Peace.